postal strike of 1970. By the end of the 1960s, pay raises for postal workers were virtually non-existent, rising by a scant $2,260 after 21 years of employment, despite the physical demands of the job, which led to turnover rates of 23% every 5 years. Tensions reached a boiling point, however, after Congress proposed a 41% pay raise in congressional salaries, while their proposed increase for postal worker pay clocked in at a dismal 5.4%. In response, letter carriers in New York called for a strike on March 17, 1970, and when union bosses from the National Association of Letter Carriers refused to strike on grounds that it was illegal for federal workers to do so, a group of New York pro-strike postal workers, led by Vincent Sombrotto, defied union management and walked off their jobs the following morning.
Since Wednesday, when 6,500 New York City letter carriers refused to shoulder their mail pouches, the strike has spread from coast to coast. Now it directly affects 14 states and has involved about 200,000 postal workers.
You can't live in New York City on what they're giving us.
I've been told I'm eligible for welfare, but I don't want to take welfare.
As letter carriers took to picket lines in Manhattan, some 150,000 to 200,000 postal workers in 30 other cities followed suit, making the event the largest walkout of federal employees in U.S. history. At the same time, freezing delivery of some 270 million pieces of mail a day. In an age before the internet and email, documents critical to government, finance, and other industries were sidelined in postal warehouses, at the same time bringing financial hardships to poor people waiting on welfare checks, while young men fearful of being drafted into the Vietnam War were left to worry if they were about to be called up for active duty or exempted from the war. In response to the mounting logjam, President Richard M. Nixon declared a federal emergency, calling in the National Guard to deliver the mail in an effort to keep the American economy on track.
What exactly are you doing?
I don't really know.
Do you think you're doing it as fast as a postal worker?
No, I don't.
And after 8 days of sorting and delivering mail by inexperienced reservists, the wildcat strikers went back to work on Nixon's promise of a retroactive pay hike of 6%, followed by an additional 8% after Nixon signed the Postal Reorganization Act on August 12th of that same year, making the Great Postal Strike of 1970 a time of letterless stagnation for Americans everywhere. And there you have it, the Great Postal Strike of 1970, today in the Daily Dose. If you like learning something new every day, subscribe to the Daily Dose on YouTube or sign up for emails at dailydosenow.com.